Hey guys, how's it going? This is Rob Gueringer, also known as Freaky Rob. You may have seen me playing guitar and bass for some of your favorite artists such as Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Lil Wayne, Diddy, Steve Lacy, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and the list goes on. We are here today at my personal studio in Los Angeles, and I would love to take you guys on a little mini glimpse of what I got going on over here. And I think to start off, I want to take you by my guitars and my basses. Come on. So this first guitar is my PRS Special. It's a custom one-of-one for me. As you can notice, the Freaky Rob nameplate. When I was talking to Paul and the guys over at PRS, I just really wanted something that was like an overall workhorse. And this is it for me for sure. I have 3 humbucking pickups. You got one in the middle, which is kind of unusual for me, but I love it because it's just more sonic capabilities. And then on top of that, the neck pickup and the treble pickup, they can be switched to single coil. I just think this guitar is something that I can use in almost any environment that I would play in. And then one of my favorite things about it is this super cool color. It's called a purple iris. And this is a beautiful tin top that we have as far as the finish in the maple. And it's just like a really, really cool piece. And it's light, it's super light. I pick up this guitar more so for like my hip hop, R&B, and like more heavy situations where I would still want to be a little bit more versatile, but I can get that punch. But the clean tone coming out of here is very, very, very clean, and it's beautiful. And then also the feel of the neck, it's super playable. So I can kind of any like things you would typically use a Strat for, or things you would typically use a Gibson for. I feel like I kind of got the in-between feel of both with the neck. For me in the live setting, my guitars always go through a HeadRush, and then from there, the HeadRushes is going into my JVM410, or if I'm running stereo, it'll be both of them, you know? So first, I'll demonstrate the neck humbucker pickup. I'll demonstrate it in its regular form, and then I'll kick in the single coil. Now I'll demonstrate the treble pickup doing the same thing. I'll start it in its original form, and then I'm going to kick in the single coil. So now I want to demonstrate the middle pickup for you guys. And with that, I'll also do positions 2 and 4, which is right above it and right underneath it. So you've pretty much heard a bass line of all the clean tones that I can achieve out of this guitar. Now let me show you how I would use it in a more unique setting. So what I did in the last demonstration was I started out with one of my favorite shimmers in the HeadRush Prime, and then I merged it into one of my favorite distortions from the HeadRush Prime, which both of these are two crucial tools for me that I would use on stage with any guitar, but they really highlight this one. This guitar is hands down one of my favorites. It's just, again, like I said, one of my main go-to workhorses. And I had a really good time with my family over at PRS putting this together. And it just feels like it's personalized specifically for me. And now we're gonna take a closer look at one of my other favorite guitars. So this guitar is really, really special to me. This is a gift from my friend Doug Cower, and this is a Cower guitar. So me and Doug became cool within the past 2-3 years, and he really wanted to get me something that was unique to me. And I mean, he hit it on the head. This guitar is a semi-hollow, which is something that I legit die for every time. But even more than that, this guy was able to make me a matching headstock, which I have the biggest weakness for. In the color itself, I asked them to give me the most sparkliest blue that they could. And this is probably one of my favorite colors that I have on a guitar. And I mean, it just sounds awesome. It has these great humbuckers in here, and it also does single coil switching as well. Before I demo the guitar for you guys, I want you to know that I'm going to be playing both the neck pickup and the treble pickup. And if you notice with the PRS, I love single coil switching. That's a thing for me. And I would like to display that for you guys with both pickups. So now I would like to demo this guitar for you with the pickup selector being in the middle position, and both pickups will still be in their humbucking form. I'm also going to bring in a rotary from the HeadRush Prime. So now we've gone over a few of my essential guitars and my workhorses, whether it's live or in the studio. Another fun fact about me is that I play bass as well. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but I also play bass on stage for various artists, and I play almost on everything that I produce. So let's take a look at a couple of those. So what we have here is my Fender American Ultra 5-string bass. I love this bass to death. It is like everything I love out of the classic 4-string jazz bass sound, but updated and put into a modern bass. This bass just came off the road with me from the Steve Lacy tour. And I also have another one that I really love, which is a Fender American Ultra 4-string jazz bass. And that one has a rosewood neck. This one, as you can see, is maple. It has an 18-volt preamp. It's just a powerhouse. And on top of that, I can get almost any and absolutely every tone that I need, whether it's for work or it's for studio or just my own personal enjoyment. So this bass definitely goes with me almost everywhere. So now I would love to demo this bass for you guys. First off, I want to introduce you to the signal chain for it. I'm running this bass through a Universal Audio Solo 610, and it's going directly in. And I'm going to play this bass in position 1, which is the neck pickup. Then I'll switch to position 2, which is both pickups. And then I'll end it on position 3, which is the back pickup. Position 2. And now this will be the bridge pickup. Typically in the bass, the tonal qualities that I'm looking for are warmth. I love a good clean low end, but I also like for my basses to not get lost as far as presence. And this bass can give me all of those things. It has a very, very, very nice bottom. Even with the mid-range, it's not too mid-rangey or quacky as I like to call it, but it'll give me that heavy rock tone if I need it, but it'll also supply that warm jazz / R&B hip hop tone that's kind of standard to my playing. For instance, when I'm playing this bass with Steve Lacy, I have to set it up and approach it a little bit different than when I use it with like a Ian Dior. Steve has more so wide palette and range of bass tones that I would have to achieve during the live show. And Ian is more so, he's in his rocker vibe. He likes to go in, he likes to rock out. And so it's like it's a different vibe between the two, but this bass can handle and manage them both very well. When I'm recording, I hone in on a specific tone depending on what I'm playing or what I'm producing. Me personally, if I didn't have to play a gig or be put in the box to make the bass sound like something, I like dark, warm bass. So I like almost whatever that is right before muting it. Like, you know, I like it right down in there. But this bass, it has the clarity too. So I still get the presence and it's not just like that low muddy feeling. I actually get a little top end if I need it. And what's cool is I'm only pretty much halfway on everything as far as the control. So I still have a lot of room to gain up and pull out some different tones if necessary. I'm put in situations where I'm required to do a few different things, and I have something that I brought that's very special I would like to show you guys. This is from my good friends over at Ernie Ball, and this bass is a Ernie Ball Music Man 35th anniversary StringRay 5. And it screams me all day long. It's very unique. It has the block inlays, which I am a diehard fan for, if you can't tell. And then also it has these 2 humbucking pickups, which for me in bass is rare. I normally like me a good single coil pickup, like a jazz bass or a precision bass or something of that sort. But this is like all things different. And I love it. I use this bass with Steve Lacy. I've used it for different award shows. It gives me everything that I need, literally within the instant of a knob turn or a pickup switch. So as you can see, this bass is full of variety, from pickup positions 1 through 5 with it having the humbuckers. And you can even hear like in the last position on the back pickup, you can hear how it drives the solo 610 a little bit more because there's a humbucker there. I just think overall it's one of those basses that I can get away with a lot. Now we're going to explore my first love, which is drums. So now we've moved a couple feet over from my guitar station and we are at my lovely drum set. This is a DW Design Series acrylic kit. And this is a big thing for me because I'm a wooden guy all day. But in a space like this, I can have as many guitars and basses as I want, but you only get one drum kit. And I felt like this is the perfect drum fit for what I'm doing in the studio. So what drew me to this acrylic kit is when I went to test it at Guitar Center a couple years ago, the sound was so resonant and it was boomy in a good way because I typically don't prefer boomy either. It's more so controlled in a sense. And the acrylic just has a different tone. It's like in between what I would want from like wooden drums and also the sound that I would try to mimic of wooden drums from my DAW software, you know? And I think now with me having this drum kit and specializing it to my liking, for instance, I have the t-shirt mutes on the toms and on the snare. And what it does is it pretty much just gives it that old 60s, 70s sound. And I'm an old soul at heart. So this drum kit was pretty much everything I liked from the old tones I wanted to capture, incorporated with the new. I used to have John Bonham Vista lights before this, and I felt like I wanted to go a little bit more modern, and these definitely helped me capture what I was looking for. For cymbals, I had to find something that was very unique to me because I do not like bright cymbals. So with the help of a few of my drum friends, they helped me pick out cymbals that I felt were perfect for what I wanted to do here in the studio. For my hi-hats, I have Zildjian K Dark 14-inch hats. To my left here, I have a Dark Crash, which is an 18-inch, and that's also a K Series. I have a K Series Ride, also dark 20-inch. And then this is very special. This here is an Oriental Crash by Zildjian, but it is a 20-inch. So I know you guys are probably like, he has a 20-inch Ride and a 20-inch Crash. Literally night and day. Two totally different things. Over here, I have an Oriental Splash Stack, and I can't tell you what the bottom one is. You guys, you just gotta come and check me out. That's secret. Drums was actually my first instrument. I've been playing drums since the age of 2 years old, and I'm so grateful it happened that way because I think even as a guitarist and as a bassist, playing drums for so long, it gives me such a percussiveness and a different type of rhythm feel that I can take with me amongst any gig, any session, within anything that I do. Drums really started that all for me. I didn't pick up a guitar until I was 12, 13 years old. And I kind of just built my skill set up on drums. And it's so crazy that now I can take what I learned from drums and apply it to all the other instruments that I play. And now that you have explored my DWs, I want to take you to the most crucial part of this room, my control area. As you can see, I have some really, really cool keyboards. I have the Korg Minilogue XD. I have a Roland JDXA. I have a Memotron right here, and I also have a vintage Juno 106. Today, we're gonna go more so in depth with my Minilogue XD. Having the keyboards that I have here, I can be very intentional about what I wanna use each one for, or sometimes I might just wanna have fun. I think I like the Minilogue XD because I can go for a mixture of both. But mainly more so I like it for like auxiliary sounds and basses and kind of cool effects. This one is really, really special because it's stereo. Korg also makes a regular Minilogue and that one is mono. And it seems like they really just took the other keyboard and like put it on steroids. Like the sound output is fatter, it's warmer, and you also have some new sound selections and a couple more new controls that you can alter and manipulate up here up top. I've come to find that I really like some of the presets, and then from there, I like to take them and make it my own. Now, if I take that and I pull some of the release off of it, you might get a sound like this. And the keyboard just really has a lot of cool textures that I can use in any genre or any project that I'm working on, whether it be studio, some live format. I just feel like it's a really cool piece to have, and it's full of inspiration. Another really cool thing about this keyboard that I really like is I'm a lo-fi guy for sure. And when I'm making lo-fi music or things that just feel in that type of vein, this keyboard is the answer. So there you have it. That's the scoop on my Minilogue XD. Now let me give you the rundown on my UA Apollos. I have two X8Ps and I have an X16. The X16 for me, it controls everything coming from my stage. So everything that's on the stage, it hits a mixer first, pretty much just for the preamps. And then from there, it's running into the X16. The first X8P would be pretty much like everything I need back here that's not a keyboard. So my mics for acoustic miking, or like any additional vocal mics or any additional inputs that I would need to collaborate with another producer or artist. That's what you would pretty much use my first Apollo for. And then the second X8P is for all my keyboards. All of these keyboards right here are running stereo, meaning left and right. So I dedicated an entire Apollo just to that so I can have a very clean tone. And I pretty much use the Apollos, besides capturing the sound, to kind of design it as well. The universal audio plugins are amazing. And I have the entire pack. So I like to put different things on different channel strips, just depending on what sound I want to achieve. So if you take a close look with me, I'm using a lot of the UAD plugins on my drums. For my hi-hats, I have a API preamp and I have the Hitsville EQ. If you look at it, it's pretty much right on point from what you will want from the actual devices. I feel like it translates really, really well without having to purchase all of this equipment. And Universal Audio is one of my favorite companies as far as reproducing the tools and machines and equipments that we really, really love in the studio. And I'm also using Neve 1073s on my toms, all of them. I have an API Vision CS on my snare bottom. I have a Neve 1073 Legacy, a DBX, and a 1073 on my snare top. And then on my kick, I'm using the Neve 1073. I'm using a UA 1176. I'm using a Pultec MEQ. And then I'm using a distressor. Now, if you take a look, this distressor literally looks like what I know. And I think that's where I get comfort in the studio, because I get to have all these iconic pieces that you would usually have a rack box or like some type of rack mount system for, but I have everything within the computer. I needed my setup to be manageable in here, but also on the go. And I think this is the closest way where I still get a lot of those machines and tools that I would want from a analog setting, but still in my computer. Everything that you've heard thus far, from my drums to the guitars, everything has been running through this system. And I think this is the one that's for me. So that's it, guys. You've pretty much had a very, very small glimpse of my studio today. If you want to see some more, you got to come book a session with me. If you want to build your own studio, you should head over to your local GC, contact one of their expert gear advisors, or head over to guitarcenter.com.